On to our big question now. Which division has the biggest gap between them? The Premier League and Championship or the Championship and League One?
Before we start, we know we don't get to see much League One here. Like, it's not like we don't sit there and watch 35 games of football over a weekend. Like, you would think we've got no social life, and our parents would probably install us in a mental institute if we watched.
Watching Rotherham take on Oxford.
Or even, I don't know, Bury take on MK Dons, the relegation battle.
Well, they're both relegated.
Yeah. We'll get to that soon. But I think what helps when coming up from the championships, Wolves will come up. They've got money. And they're going to get more money from coming up. And it just shows the step up in class is not that much. Rumours, I know it's only gossip. They're going to target Adrian from West Ham, like half-decent goalkeeper.
Mangala from City.
Mangala. And the one that surprised me, Jack Wilshere.
Really?
I think I read Jack Wilshere was linked to Wolves. He's out of contract. Yeah. And this is a kid, like a young man, what is he, 25, 26. On his day, he's a starter in a top 4 Premier League club.
When he's in form, he's fantastic. I think he was always a strong talent back when, it was probably now 6 years ago now, I'd say. He was always, the young and up-and-coming kid for Arsenal who was probably going to lead them.
Now it's Alex Iwobi.
But no, on that case, I think that you talk about the financial situation teams get coming up in the league, and obviously they do need that in some case. But if you take it a little bit away from that, I think you're still going to have such a big gap between teams coming up. You look at how well Huddersfield and Brighton, how much they spent coming up last year, and that probably helped a lot in their case. But
the TV rights is huge.
That's exactly right, and that's where that money comes from. But I think you look at sides coming up from League One to the Championship, and take Sheffield United as an example. Last year they came up and the first third of the season they were in the top 3. I think they were quite fantastic for a team that had battled out in the League One so well, and then they just didn't look like they had dropped off it at all. And they knocked off both Wolves, Hull and Sunderland, so two of the promotion sides, and obviously Wolves this year, also relegation sides from the Premiership. So I think that gap between League One and Championship is probably a bit smaller. I think obviously the money is going to help and fit those teams into the Premier League. But I think you take that money, put that money aside, something that you don't get between the relegation from the 2nd to the 3rd division. I think that gap's obviously a lot closer.
I think there's a lot of correlation between the Premier League and Championship because there's still a lot of money in the Championship. Middlesbrough spent 50 million on acquisitions this year. And if you look at it, the teams that have gone up into the Premier League in the past 5 years, 60% of them have stayed in the Premier League in their first year, so they haven't been relegated back to the Championship. Whereas you look at the Championship and League One, and even in the Championship, we've got a lot of foreign coaches there as well. So they're all trying to play that style. Fulham are trying to play the possession style of play, passing it around, where if you look at League One, it's more just English-based, so they're playing the old style, get it forward, cross it in. And we've seen this year with Blackburn and Wigan, they've both gone down to League One and just breezed through that league and have been promoted back to the Championship. And Rotherham sit 4th, and they look likely to get promotion back up as well.
Yeah, with Shrewsbury having dropped off. And if they've gone straight back, it just shows if they've obviously got a bit of money compared to some of the Sunderland going down to League One will be getting 34 million. They'll bounce straight back up. Obviously there is a sale of the club coming soon, I think we read.
Yeah.
And so that clears the debt.
Yeah.
Free slate, new manager.